Well, friends, we all have a story, and I want to tell you kind of a small part of really one of the scariest parts of my faith journey story. When I gave my life to Christ in college, I really, I built my whole foundation on Jesus. And I'd experienced His power, His presence, His love. At college, I'd even said, God, whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do it. Just tell me what you want me to do. And that's when I got my call to ministry and felt a real sense of peace, like this overwhelming sense of peace. Like I knew that God was calling me into ministry. So I said yes. So I went to SMU to get my master's degree to become a pastor. And while I was there, they take your faith and they're like, hey, if you want to believe this stuff, all your little Sunday school answers, you have to be able to understand it and defend it and all the stuff. And so it was like they took my faith and dropped it on the ground and it broke into little bitty pieces. And I really had a very serious, just a time of doubt while I was at seminary. So it was really awkward to be training to be a pastor. And there were moments when I was like, is this really true? Is like God really real? Or did we just make Him up to feel better about ourselves, about life and death and life after death and all those things? And so it got so bad that first year at seminary, I remember sitting on the floor of my dorm room, the lights were off, I was just weeping and just asking God, I need you to show yourself to me. Like I need to know that you are real and that I'm not just making all this stuff up. And the CD player that was on shuffled a song that really just grabbed my attention and just reminded me in that moment of all the different times God had shown up in my life, where I had known He was real at my confirmation. I had experienced His love at a camp. I'd experienced the power of Him receiving my life when I was in college. And even that sense of calling, that sense of overwhelming peace that I knew that God was calling me into ministry. And it was in that moment when God really just tapped me on the shoulder and said, Matt, if there is a call, there has to be a caller. And so I held on to my experience of God in those different moments. And it was like God kind of dropped me a little thread that I could hold on to, and He pulled me up out of this hole that I really felt like I was in at that time. And it's not that I don't still occasionally have doubts, but friends, I just hold on to the truth of if there was a call, there has to be a caller. And I just want to encourage you with that story if you ever have those kind of things as well. I want to invite you to pray with me if you would. Lord, thank you for the story you have given me to tell. Help me tell it whenever I can and live it out wherever I go. May this story point to your story, the story of the greatest gift ever given, the gift that you gave us in Jesus. Amen.